Hey everyone, welcome back to the another Flutter tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn the authentication feature in our Flutter app, but not for sample project. We are going to learn in a secure way. Your authentication need to be a secure. We have used the Riverpod state management to achieve this all the authentication feature. We have learned email passport authentication, phone authentication, and Google authentication as well. This is the sign up screen and this is the login screen. We are going to learn the authentication feature in a one professional way using the Riverpod state management. You can say after you have learned this, you can add this authentication feature in your app that you are going to be launched. Okay, without any wasting, let's start. First we have start from the email passport authentication. Next we will do the phone authentication, and last we will complete with the Google authentication. Okay. After the demo, we are start from the email passport authentication. First, I'll present a demo of email passport authentication, how we have complete it and how is it look like at the end of this tutorial. Everyone thinks email passport authentication is the simple, but if you analyze, each and every project must have the authentication feature. That's why we need to learn it in the professional way. We have used the Riverpod for the state management and we have achieved each and everything. This is the login screen. If you have already account, then you can log in. If you didn't have an account, then click the sign up here and you can register the account here. Here currently 3 fields: name, email and passport. If you start to register the account, then it will disable the sign up button until you have provided all the info. This is the name. You need to provide your complete name. You need to provide the fully formatted email. Until you have provided the fully formatted email, it will display the error. After you have provided the fully formatted email, then it will enable the sign up button. If you try to sign up, then it will display please enter all the field. First it will check if all the field will be filled or not. In passport, I'll just set the only the 6 passport criteria, but during complete video we have also see how you can set the strong password as well. From here you can just hide and show the passport, and if you just click the sign up, it will show the loading indicator until the sign up is success. If sign up success, then navigate to the login screen and display now turn to login. Again here if you click the login button, then it will also start the circular progress indicator until login will be successful. And here see we have successfully login, and here is the logout. If you have logout from here, it will show, it will navigate to the login screen. By this way we can create the email passport authentication feature in our Flutter app. Okay, we are going to start the email passport authentication. Let's start. I'm not spend too much time during UI design. We have just created one simple and clean UI. I'll just say the background color will be white background color. In body, I'll just define the column widget. Inside the column, we have required the multiple children. First widget will be container. Inside the container, we have required the height of the container. To make our app responsive, I'll just get the screen height for responsive design. Double height media query. If you have used the media query, then your app is responsive for height and width. Context.size.height. Okay, after you have defined the responsive height here, then we'll call this height and width just height. If you pass height tends to this side, then it will takes the all screen available, but I'll give the 2.3. okay. Decoration, box decoration, we have simply design it. Width, I'll set the width double.max width, takes the available all the width. Child, containers takes the child widget. Image.assets, here inside the asset folder I have collect 2-3 images for login and sign up. I'll just copy the relative path of this image and paste it here. Before you have used the image, just set the path of the image on pubspec.yml file and let's save it. It should look like this after save the image. Let's make this image fit all the width. Fit boxfit.cover. It takes the all available width. Now after the image is in, it's look like this background and image is to separate. I'll just add the shadow and make this, I'll make it similar this to image and the background. Okay, inside the container we have a decoration. It takes the box shadow. I'll just provide the color and we have the shadow background color. In our colors.dart file, you can see I have just defined the shadow.color color and banner shadow dot color, and I just set the blur radius to 15 and spread radius to 20. Okay, it's look like more professional than the previous. Okay, after this login image, we have required the two text form field and button. Let's work on it. I have just set the size box 20 in between the image and the text field. I've just take the padding 15 from the all side. Instead of providing padding for each text field and button, I'll just take the column again. After that, one padding is OK for all the text field and the button. I've just defined the simple text field. First is a text field. Second thing is autocorrect. Starting from the top, I'll just make the autocorrect false. And for keyboard type, our first field is image field. That's why I'll make is text input type dot email address. Okay. Oh, this is not a key. This is the keyboard type. And second, define the decoration, input decoration. We have just add the simple decoration, which is first is a prefix icon, icons dot email. Okay. In label text, I'll give the enter your email, and border outline input border, content padding all give the 15 on the all side inside the text field. That's it. And let's save it and see how does it look. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. And this is just 4-5 line of code. That's why I'll just copy it and paste it again and give the 15 height between the two text field. Instead of enter your email, in label text I'll give the enter your password. And in icon, we have used the lock icon on password. In password, keyboard type is visibility password. Remaining all are same. Okay. Here we have required the one button. In sign up screen, we have also required the button. Reason that create the one common button inside the core folder. Common inside the common. Let's create another folder which is called the widget. Inside this widget, we have just created the one common button. I'll name called my button. We are not spending more time on designing this custom button. Here, this is the simple button. I'll define the size box and initially takes the max width of the screen. Elevated button. I'll give padding, background color and shape of this button. And text, I'll set the font size 12, color and font width. That's it. Initially, again, I'll set the initially color is blue asset, and we have manually passed the void callback and the name of the button. And let's call the button and let's see how is it look like this button is. At the end of this text field, we will define one size box. Just call the my button here that we have designed. Currently on tab is empty and the button text is login. Save it. Okay, perfect. And I'll just set the height between the text field is 20. Now, after this login button, we have required the if you didn't have an account, then sign up. Row children, inside this row, we have the text first and the text called if you didn't have an account. First child of the row is text and second child of our row is sign up button in the form of text. First, I'll text the gesture detector and the child of this gesture detector is text, and I'll give the name of this text called sign up. Add the simple style on the right side. To achieve this, the first child of our row is spacer. Spacer take the available all space on the right side. If you add first child of your row, and that's it. This is our login screen. Simple and it's look like decent. Okay, in next tutorial, we have also add the Google login and phone authentication here. After the login screen UI complete, I'll create the next file called sign up screen and I'll copy all the code from the login screen and just paste it here and rename the name of the class sign up screen. This time we have not required this box shadow and I'll also change the image on the sign up screen. This time I'll use this image and I have just decreased the height because we have required another text field here. First is enter your email, enter your password. Before enter your email field, I have just add the another text field and give the name, enter your name, and keyboard type will be the text. and icon will be the person, and remaining all are same. Go to the user login screen, and if user click on sign up, then navigate to the sign up screen. For that, we have already created the go route for all the navigation, push pop, push replacement, push name. We have called this function here. Navigation helper. First things we have required the on tab. Inside the on tab, I will call the navigation helper. Navigation helper dot push. That's it. And we need to give the destination screen. Currently, our destination screen will be the sign up screen. And let's click on the sign up here. Okay, look like this. For sign up screen, the image will start from the very top of the app. For that, I'll wrap our column widget first with the safe area. Instead of column, I have used the list view. If our widget and our property is more than this screen, then it will be a scrollable. Okay, good. Instead of didn't have an account, I'll change this text called. If you already have an account, then go to the login screen. And I have also changed the name of button called sign up. Okay, now everything will be perfect here and UI design part will be completed. Our next steps is we are going to make this authentication functional. We have used the Riverpod state management to achieve all the function. Last things that will be required is login screen. If we click on this login button, I make it. If user click this login screen, then it need to be navigate back on the login screen. Inside the on tab, again I will call the navigation helper dot push. This time screen will be login screen, user login screen. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, inside the user folder, I've just created another folder called Auth. Inside the Auth folder, we have required the three folder. First called be the model, second will be the screen, and third called service. This time we will be working look like the professional way. In model, we have placed the Auth model data here. In service, we have used the sign up login service and the provider service data. In screen, we have moved this sign up screen and login screen, user login screen here. Okay, this is the professional way. If you are creating the app, then separate your logic part, model part, and the view screen part. First, inside the service folder, we have required the sign up login service. I'll give name called auth service dot. Create the auth class which handle Firebase authentication and Firestore operation for sign up, login, and logout functionality. Firebase authentication handle the authentication part, and Firestore, we have used Firestore to store the authenticated user data. Start with class, and I'll give name called auth service, or let's change it auth method. You can give any name. Before initializing, you need to add 2-3 package, which is called the first package will be Firebase Auth, second will be the Cloud Firestore, and third package will be the Flutter Riverpod. We have used Riverpod state management to manage the all state of the authentication. We have used Firebase Auth to authenticate the user. Cloud Firestore, we have stored all the authenticated user data on Firebase Firestore. Okay, first things that you need to do will be the in sign in method. Just enable the email passport authentication. This time Google will be not required, but if you are going to achieve the email passport authentication, then you need to enable the provider email passport. Just enable it. That's it. You didn't need to do anything on the Firebase. And start the Firebase Firestore here. Currently it will be empty. After user create the account, then created user data will be stored on here. Okay, let's start. First, we need to initialize the Firebase Firestore and Firebase Auth instance to use. First, I will initialize this two. Okay, I have created the two instances, one for Firebase authentication and another for Firestore. After that, we are going to handle the user sign in, user sign up with email, passport, and name. First, we are going to start with the sign up method. In sign up method, I'll first define the future function and make it in string, and I'll give the name called sign up user. We have required the three things. First string will be the email, and second called password, and third is name of the user. Make this function async. Okay, I'll define the three things that will be required and make our function async. Every time we need to use the try catch block, it will be help to display the error message. Okay, try catch. I'll print the error that we have faced. We have handled it professionally later. Okay, first I'll check if the email password name will be empty or not. If email is empty, password is empty, and name is empty, then return please enter all the field. In signup method, our main task is to create a new user in Firebase Authentication. For that, we have used the user credential and I'll make it Auth. In any instance, it takes some time to authenticate. We have used the Auth. We have already created the instance of Auth. Create user with email and password. Okay, this is the main things. And next, at the same time, if user create the new account, we have store the created user on Firestore. For that, we have used the Firebase Firestore instance .collection and I'll give the name user collection. This collection itself create the collection on Firestore. If this name collection is already there, it just update it. If not any collection related to this name, then create the new collection and set the field. Inside this collection, we have set the 4 fields. First will be the name, second will be the UID. UID will be always required. If user is created, we need to check if this user is authenticated or not. That's why every time we need to store the user currently login user ID. And email, password will be never stored, and that's why we have store name, UID, email, and next things I'll store created aid. To see the user created time, I'll created the another things called created aid. In created aid, we have stored the user created time on the server. Field value dot server timestamp. Okay, we have created the new user here. We have stored the new created user data here. Next, what we have said, return the success message if everything will be perfect. And instead of this print, I will return it. It will be error. If we return, then it will be also display on the simulator as well. .toString. Okay, sign up process is completed. Simple. First, define the required things, simply validate it here, create the new user, store it. If success, return the success message. If anything error, display it. We have further validated all the fields using the Riverpod state management. Next, we will work on the sign in or login. Everything will be similar. I'll just copy this all from the sign up process and just change the name, login user. This time name field will be not required. I'll remove the name field from everywhere, and we have already stored the new created user. This will be also not required. Instead of this auth.create user with email password, this time we have authenticate the user. Sign in with email and password. Auth also need to make it async. Await auth.sign in with email and password, and same email that we have used. If everything will be perfect, return the success message. If anything error, just return the error message. Okay, next for logout. Okay, simple process. I have defined the future function. Inside this function, we have the auth instance that we have created here. Everything will be surrounded the auth instance. We have created new user using the auth instance. We have login using the same auth instance, and we have sign out using the same instance. Okay. Here, last we have create Riverpod provider for auth method. It's allow access to authentication method across the app. Final, auth method provider. Give the name. I'll give the name called auth method provider. And we have used the provider. This provider is not a provider state management. This is the provider of the Riverpod. Inside this provider, pass the method name. Our method name is auth method. This will be this class name. Return this class. Simple. Okay. After the authentication service, we have authenticate using the Riverpod provider. Auth provider dot. First things, import the Flutter Riverpod here. We have used the state notifier Riverpod to manage the state of the authentication form using both login and the sign up screen. Why we have used it? It handle the input validation and UI state like password visibility, loading status. We have not used a stateful widget and set state function. Decrease the performance of the app. That's why This time we have achieved this all using the Flutter Riverpod. Let's start. Define the class, and the class will be auth form notifier. This will be the name of the class. You can give any name, extend state notifier. This will be the key here. Before that, we have required the model. Before we need to extend auth notifier on state notifier, we have required the model to handle the loading state, visibility state, and all the performance. Here, to save the time, I'll define the state model for the authentication form holding input value and UI state. Name, email, and password will be the field, and name error, email error, and password error will all handle this using the state notifier. And is loading, we have display the loading state if user click on login, and off the loading state if login is successfully, and this is for password hidden. Okay, and this is the constructor with default value for initialization. This is the getter to determine if the form is valid. Return true if there are no error in the email and password. Email, password, and name is either empty for login or validate for sign up. Okay, and this copy with create a new instance of authentication auth form state with update value. Use null aware operator to return existing value if new one aren't provided. This means if you have stored the name, email, password on the Firestore and mistakenly it will be deleted, then it will show the bad status or error. If you use the null aware operator, it will return the existing value or default value. Okay, this is the simple auth form state model. You can create it in your way. Just pause the video and create the same if you are following the tutorial. After that, working along with its state notifier from auth form state model, imported auth.model is imported. First, initialize with the default auth form state, empty field, password hidden, no error, and more. Auth form notifier, empty with auth form state. Okay, after initialize it, first we'll start from the toggle process. If you click on the button here, we have set the button here. If you click, then password will be visible. If you again click, password will be the hide. I'll give name called toggle password visibility. It's update the state with new value. State dot copy with is password hidden. Just make the opposite. If it will be already display the password, just hide it. If not display it. That's it for toggle password visibility logic. If you use the Riverpod, then it will be the easy, short, easy, and reliable. Next, we'll update the name field and validate it. In sign up screen, if user just create the A, then this will be not a name. That's why we need to validate it. Here in update name, we have just update the name field and validate it if the name is empty. If the name is not empty and name dot length is less than 6 character, then share the error message. If name is not empty, means if user provide, but at the same time its character need to be greater than 6. Otherwise it fails the provide your full name error during the sign up. Okay, by the same way, we have update the email field and validate it using the regular expression. Here in update email, first we have update the email field and validate it using the regular expression. And what we have check it here, if email is not empty and doesn't match the regular expression, set the error, which means if user provide the email but it provide the unmatched format email, just like has@gmail.com, then it will be the not format. This will be the not valid email. That's why we have used this regular expression. Otherwise, we have just checked if image is empty, then show the error. Then we have faced this problem. If user provide the has, then image is not empty. That's why we have checked. If email is not empty, you need to keep two things. Here we have also valid. Image is not empty. Not empty is not only a matter. At the same time, email name will be the name character length will be the greater than 6. Okay. In email, we have check the same things. Email, first things, email not need to be empty. If user provide the email, then at the same time it need to be provide the correct email according to this expression. Otherwise it fail enter a valid email error. Same for the password. We have checked the password. First password need to be a password is not empty, and at the same time password need to be a character less than 6. Otherwise it faces the error. Every time user need to keep in mind two things. First, not empty, and second, validate and character must be a greater than 6. Okay. After this, we have required the next state called update the loading state. Void set loading. Loading is always a bool. Is loading state. Use the show hide or loading indicator during async operation. We have used this loading indicator. Later during this time you are clear what we have using this loading here. Last things, we need to create a Riverpod provider for auth form notifier, and next allow the form state to be accessed and modifier across the app. Okay, everything will be completed. Last one things, we need to connect this logic part and auth state service part on the UI. Let's start to connect on the sign up screen first. First, make our main function that will accept the provider service. My app inside the material app with widget called provider scope. And instead of this stateless widget, to use the Riverpod, make is consumer widget. Along with build context, pass the widget div. First, we have watch the form state for real-time update. I'll give the name called form state and ref.watch from where auth form provider. Next, we have read the form notifier. Ref.read from auth form provider dot notifier. Okay. Last things for read the auth method for sign up functionality. Final auth method ref.read auth method provider. Okay, we have handled the sign up process here simply and add the loading indicator. Simply set the loading state to true to show the loading indicator. Form notifier dot set loading state to true. Initially, if user first click the loading button, it's make true and show the loading indicator, and call the sign up method with form input. Final, in our previous sign up login process, we have provide the controller here, but this time we have provide the form state dot email. No, form notifier. This is not form notifier. It's the form state dot email, form state dot passport that we have validated and provided dot name. Okay, here first we have called the sign up method, and inside this first we have check form notifier dot is loading tends to true and call the sign up method. If everything is perfect, then set the loading indicator tends to false. Here first we have set true, call the method and set it false if everything is perfect, and if everything is perfect, if sign up is successfully, navigate to the login screen and show the success message. If RES, this is the RES, is success, then show the navigation helper dot push replacement. Why push replacement? If you have do the push, then it will be display the back button on the app bar, user login screen, and if successfully, same time show the snack bar that we have created. My snack bar on the message we have passed the sign up successfully, now turns to login. Just simple. Last we have display the error message, else show the snack bar with error message. Error will be this error will be the display from the sign up user. Okay, here first we have handle the sign up process, start to handle the sign up process and set the loading state to true to show the loading indicator, and if load indicator start to load, we have called the sign up method with form input and we have set the loading state to false. Then check everything is perfect, then navigate and show the success snack bar. If anything's error, then show the snack bar with error. Okay, and remaining all we have already completed the UI part. Next we'll just call this method on sign up button. Here this is our sign up button. Just form state dot is loading, if true, then show the circular progress indicator, center child circular progress indicator, otherwise display the button. And inside this on tab we have called the form notifier dot is form validate, form state dot is form validate, if true then show the sign up, otherwise show the null. It means how How is it work? If form is not valid, then sign up button will be hide. If you click here, okay, first I'll restart it. Here, let's click the sign up button. If you click here and start to type, okay, I'll check it. What happened? Why it not working? Why it not working? We have not defined the controller here. Controller and error text. In the password field, let's define the error text, and we have called the form state dot passport error. Just copy and paste it here. Instead of password error, just modify it to the email error, and name, just change it to the name error. And another things, let's call the on change here. On change form notifier dot update passport, update name, that's it, value. Just copy it from here and paste on the every text field and modify its name, email, and this will be the passport. Okay, now you can see if we start to type, provide your full name and sign up button will be disabled here. Now enable. If you give your name, full name, just now be in, then it will be enabled. Okay, same for email, you need to provide a valid email, same for the passport. Okay, our sign up process is completed. Let's try it will work or not. Until you have provided the complete email, it will display the enter a valid email error. Oh, okay, first we have sign up, then it will work on the hidden password. I'll show you. Currently authentication is empty and database is also empty. Let's sign up. Can see sign up is successful. Now turn to login and let's refresh the Firestore database. You can see created date, email, name and UID will be reflect here, and in authentication the email will be displayed. Okay, let's work on the passport hide show button. Here in suffix, inside the input decoration, we have used the suffix icon button. In icon button, we have already created the method. Just call it form notifier dot toggle password visibility, and icon will be form state dot is password hidden icons dot visibility off, otherwise display icons dot visibility. You can see initially it will be hide. If you just currently it will be not working. Let's see what happened. We have not defined the of secure text. In of secure text, just set the form state dot passport error. No, is password hidden. Save it. Now working perfectly. See, it will be working perfectly. Just copy the passport text field from here and paste it on the user login screen. We have required the same feature for login screen as well. And again go to the sign up screen and call this all the process here. We have required the same things, but we need to just modify its name. Just copy and paste it here and import as and everything. First, make the stateless widget to consumer widget. Next, provide the widget div. Next things is import the auth provider and auth service. Instead of this sign up, rename the name called login. In auth method, just change sign up to login. In login, there is no name parameter. Import the snack bar and just ignore this all the field. Okay, in the success message, just I'll change it successfully login, and I think remaining all are perfect. In navigation, I'll just create the one folder on the user and give the name called home. Inside this home folder, I'll create the home screen dot. Here I'll just define the one stateless widget, home screen, scaffold, app bar. In body, center, child, elevated button. Inside here we have called the logout method, text logout. I'll check what is the name of our auth service. Name called auth method. Auth method tends to auth method. Here just give the auth method dot sign out. In login screen, we have said if successfully login, navigate to the home screen. Okay, first I'll set the on change on email and just modify the name. Instead of update password, I'll make it update email. And next things is error text, mail error. And last, on the login button, we have also set the loading indicator. If is loading, then show the circular progress indicator. Otherwise, show the button. Inside the button, we have again validated it. Okay, everything will be perfect. Just I'll forget to set the one divider here. Row children expanded takes the all available space Inside the container, I'll give the height of container 1 and color will be black 26. First child will be expanded. I'll copy this and I'll paste it again, and third child will be the text name called or. It means if you have already created an account, then log in here. If you didn't have an account, sign up here. We have already registered the account. Let's try to log in using this account. First, I'll try to log in. This is the email that we have used, naveen123@gmail.com. Before that, first let's restart the app. Now it's start to work. Why this login button is not disabled? Oh, we have do the one silly mistake. Now it will be perfect. Okay, if the error happen, the button is disabled. Let's try. Okay, successfully login. We have successfully login. Let's log out from here. Go to the home screen. We have sign out, but after the sign out successfully, where it need to be navigate, we have not defined it. That's why navigation helper dot push replacement screen will be the login screen, user login screen. Okay, let's log out. Okay, everything will be perfect. We have successfully completed the email password authentication. After email password authentication, we are going to start for the phone authentication. Same is the email password authentication. First, I'll present you the complete demo. How does it look after we have completed the phone authentication? When I click on login with phone, it will open the dialog box and ask the phone number with country code. I'll just provide my phone number. You need to provide your valid phone number. Until you have provided your valid number, it will show the error. I have provided my phone number and I'll try to send the OTP to verify the phone. Send the OTP. First it will verify you are robot or not. After that it will navigate back and OTP send in our phone successfully. And I'll get my OTP and I'll provide my OTP here. And I'll verify the OTP. If you provide the wrong OTP, then it will show the error message. I have provided the exact OTP that I have get and I have successfully verified and authenticate using the phone number. Okay, by this way, we can successfully authenticate using the phone number. After this demo, let's start the complete video. Okay, let's start the complete video. In this video, we are going to learn how we can implement the phone authentication in our Flutter app. You can see I have already completed the email password authentication. We have not only learned, but at the same time, we have also created one scalable app. Okay, let's create the one button here for phone authentication. If this button is clicked, then we have opened the dialog box to put the phone number. I have used the size box. Inside the size box, I have provided the width of this button. Initially, I'll take the width full width, max finite width, and I'll just take the 50 height of the button. We have required the elevated button here. Elevated button in on press. Initially, I'll make it empty. Child of this elevated button will be the row. Inside this row, we have put the two things, which is icon of the phone and the text. We have used the network image. I'm going to use this image, but you can use any image that you have like it. And I have set the height of this image will be 30 and color of this image is white. After that, next widget of this row will be the text. Inside this text, I'll pass login with phone. Just simply add the style. Color will be white. Font size 18 and font weight W600. Similarly, I'll just design the elevated button. Style. This style takes the elevated button dot style form. Elevated button dot style form. Inside this style, first we'll set elevation tends to 0 and background color I'll set the blue 400. Color dot blue 400. Next will be the shape of this elevated button, rounded rectangular border with border radius 12. Okay, that's it. We are not going to focus on the UI part. In row, I'll just set the main axis alignment dot center and I'll just give the width between this icon and the text. That's it for this button. Okay, inside this on press, I'll call the show dialog box. Show dialog, it takes the context and the builder. Inside the builder, it will text the build context and I'll return the dialog. It will open the dialog when we click it. Okay, and simply I'll give the shape of this dialog will be the rounded rectangular border radius and set the border radius will be the circular 20. After the save of this dialog, next things will be the child. Inside the child, I'll take the container, set the padding 16 from the all side. Width will be I'll use the media query dot of context dot size dot width, and I'll text the 0.93% of the total height from edge device. If we use the media query instead of the fixed width, it will take the 0.93% of the total width of this device. Okay, and child of this container will be the phone authentication screen dialog. Inside the auth screen, I'll create the new file and give the name called phone authentication screen. And this time I'll define the stateful widget phone auth screen, and I'll call this screen on the child of this container, and I'll return the stack because we have required the close icon on the top right corner of this dialog. That's why we are going to use the stack. Inside the children, I'll define the column, and I'll set the main axis alignment tends to center initially, and next children, and first I'll set the some height from the top of this dialog. I'll just set the height 10. After that, there is the text and name called phone authentication and simple style. Let's see how is it look. Okay, perfect. I'll just do one thing. This is main axis size dot mean. If we set it, then it will only text the required space. Okay, after this phone authentication text, again I'll use this size box, and next things is instead of passing the country code every time, we'll use the Intel phone field. This package provide the country flag with its code. Okay, just import this package in your pubspec.yml file and it is usable. I'll just import this package. I have already added this package in my system, and I'll call this package here Intel phone field. Simply I'll decorate this field decoration, input decoration. Inside the input decoration, first thing that I have passed is the label text. Inside label, where I have defined the phone number, and I'll set border outline input border. Simple and clear. Next things is initial country code. I'll set the initial country code will be the my country code. You can set your country code or the app that you are going to focus on which country, or if you are launching this app, then by using the user current location, then you can set this country code. Currently I'll do it the static way. On country change, inside this will update the country code when user change the country. Just I'll save it and I'll see how is it look. First I'll restart and let's see. Okay, perfect. After this simple UI, next we have required the button here. Before that, I'll create the another file inside the service here and give the name called phone auth service dot. Here we have write the code to handle all the authentication and send code logic and verify this code logic here. You already know that we are going to use the Riverpod as our state management tools. If we are going to use the Riverpod, then we have required the auth model to make it easier to achieve all this state. This auth state class encapsulate the authentication state, including is loading, error, verification ID, and phone number. And this copy with method allow immutable state update. Okay, here we have defined the state class to hold the authentication related data, and in here we have create a new auth state instance with update variable preserving on change once. This will be the simple model. After this model, we have used this model inside the auth notifier. Okay, I'll create the class and give the name, and I'll give the class name called auth notifier, and I'll extend it with state notifier. Inside this state notifier, I'll call this auth state model. I'll initialize it with default auth state, super auth state. This auth notifier manages authentication logic and all the state. After initializing with default auth state, we'll send the OTP to the provided phone number using Firebase authentication. Before that, first you need to go to the sign in method. You have already know that if you are going to use the Firebase, then you need to set up your Flutter project with Firebase. Just enable the phone number. Okay, just add new provider and click here and just enable the phone number. I'll use the future function, which is the void, and I'll give the name of this function called send verification code. To send the verification code, we have required the two things: required string phone number and builder context. Import the material.dart. Okay, this phone number contains the full number including the country code, and this builder context for navigation and showing snack bar. And I'll make this function async. Inside this, first we'll validate the phone number if phone number dot is empty or phone number dot length is less than 7. Why I'm going to set this? Some country have only 7 number code, but if you wants to ignore it, you can easily ignore it, because Intel phone will automatically valid the phone number according to the country. Just if you have select the Afghanistan, here only the 9 number is here. If you select the some other country like Australia, then here is also a 9 number. But if you have choose country like Nepal, India, here there is the more number. In India, here is the 10 number. Okay, we'll check if phone number is empty and phone number is less than the 7 digit, then we have display the please enter a valid phone number. Next things will be, we'll set the loading state and store the phone number. State dot copy with is loading initially set it true, error will be null, and phone number will be the phone number that takes from the user. I'll use the try catch method to handle the remaining operation for verifying phone number. Inside this try catch, first I'll initialize the Firebase phone number verification. To verify Firebase phone number, we have used the Firebase Auth package .instance .verification phone number. If you have not added the Firebase Auth package, then add it. We have already added Firebase Auth package during email password authentication. To verify phone number, it will require the 4 things. First will be the verification completed, verification failure, code send, and code auto retrieval timeout. And we have add the phone number here. This phone number contains the full phone number with country code. Second, verification completed. Call when verification is completed automatically. To do it, we have used the phone auth credential. Inside the try catch of verification completed, first we'll sign in with the auto retrieval credential. Await Firebase auth.instance.sign in with credential. State if verification is complete automatically, then we have set the is loading tends to false and clear loading state, and navigate it to the home screen. Navigation helper dot push replacement, and I have defined the home screen. If you have missed our previous tutorial, then this navigation helper, we have defined the all navigation process here for reusing. Inside this navigation helper, we have defined the push, pop, replacement, push and remove, all the process. Instead of copy and paste in each and everywhere, we have just created the one common class called GoRoute, and we have called this function, this class on the average screen, and update state with error if sign in fail. First it off the loading indicator and display the error. Is loading false means loading is completed. If verification is completed automatically, then loading indicator is false and navigate to the home screen. If any error, then still loading is false and show the error message. Call when verification is fail. The main reason will be the invalid phone number. For verification fail, we have called the Firebase auth exception and update state with the error message. The error message will be the same that I have copied, and for code send, it will be called when OTP is sent successfully. If code sends successful, then we have update the state with verification ID and clear the loading. Again, I'll copy this and just modify state.copy with is loading tends to false, and for error will be the null. If code sent successfully, then there is no any error. In verification ID, we have set the verification ID that we have defined here. Okay, then at the same time, if code sent successfully, we have do the two things. First, if code send will successfully, then we will navigate navigator.push on the code send screen. I'll just create the code send screen here. New file, name called OTP screen dot stateful widget and OTP screen, and we are going to call this screen here if OTP is successfully sent. And at the same time, we have also show the snack bar to confirm the OTP is successfully sent. If the code sends successful, then we will navigate it to the OTP screen and confirm with the snack bar OTP sent in your phone number. At this time, we have also created the common snack bar. We have used snack bar many times. That's why I'll design the simple snack bar for easy and clean. Last, call when auto retrieval timeout. No action needed here. If timeout will happen, on catch, we have display the error message. Okay, this will be the code for send verification code. Next, we'll code for the verify OTP. Same future function, give the name called verify OTP. To verify OTP, again we have required the two parameter. I'll copy from here and paste it. First will be the OTP and second will be the builder context. Inside here, again we have validate. I'll copy this too. We have used this on both the screen. Instead of phone number, we have used the OTP here, but OTP will be the 6 digit. If OTP is empty and OTP.length will be less than 6, then we'll show the error message with please enter a valid 6-digit OTP. And we'll set the loading state. Loading state will be true and error will be null. Phone number, there will be the no phone number in OTP. And we have verify OTP inside the try catch. First will be the create phone auth credential using verification ID and the OTP. Final, I'll give the name called credential. For that, phone auth provider dot credential. It will takes only the two things. This will be the verification ID and SMS code. Verification ID will be the state dot verification ID and SMS code will be the OTP. And we have sign in with this credential. Await firebase.auth.instance.sign in with credential. Okay, and if the verify success, then we have clear the loading state and navigate to the home screen and update the state with error if verification fail. That's it for verification OTP. Here what we have to, this is the simple. If verification is success, then we'll navigate it to the home screen. If unsuccess, then show the error message. Here is the 4 condition. If verification auto complete, then we'll navigate to the home screen. That means if you have already authenticated using the phone number and you have used the keep user login feature, then it will directly navigate to the home screen. If the verification fail state, then we have show the Firebase exception. If the code sent will be success, then navigate to the OTP screen, and if code auth retrieval timeout, and there will be the nothing. Okay, last one thing, that will be the auth provider. The Riverpod provider makes the auth notifier and its state accessible to both the screen, enabling share state management. We'll create the Riverpod provider for auth notifier, making it accessible across the app. Final, auth provider, it will take the state notifier provider from auth notifier and the model auth state. Inside it, first thing ref, and it will return the auth notifier. That's it, nothing complex. Okay, we have successfully handle all the things using Riverpod. Now we'll implement this in our UI. First, on the phone auth screen, first thing that I will create the phone authentication controller, text reading controller. I'll give name to the phone controller, and next things is country, default country code I'll set it to my country code, which is 977, and I'll forget to dispose every time. This time I'll remember it and I'll dispose it, and I'll dispose the text editing controller here, phone controller dot dispose. And we need to call the Riverpod provider here, the ref.watch. To use the Riverpod, first we need to make the stateful widget to consumer stateful widget, and the state will be the consumer state. Okay, after that we can easily use Riverpod in our system. Final auth state will be ref.watch auth provider. This auth provider is from this phone auth service provider. Okay, this ref.watch retrieve the current authentication to display the loading indicator when each loading is true, and watch auth provider for state change. All the state change, we have called all the state change by using this provider. Next things, I'll define the ref.listen. Inside this listen for error and display them using snack bar. We have used this ref.listen in Riverpod for error and display them using the snack bar. Auth provider, and I'll check if next.error not equal to null, then my snack bar message will be the next.error. That's it. Inside this input phone field, I'll call the controller here and set the phone controller that I'll define. And on country change, I'll update the country code when user change the country. Input phone field task will be completed. Next, we have required the one send code button here. I'll text the size box. The height of the size box will be 10, and I'll check if auth state.isLoading true, then show the circular progress indicator. Otherwise, display the button. I'll set the padding 30 on horizontal and 10 from vertical. The child of this padding will be the my button that we have commonly create, and the text of this button will be the send OTP. The color of this button will be the green. Okay, inside this button we have combined the country code and phone number. Final phone number is combined from the country code and the text that we have provided inside this text field. Okay, this phone number will be used during sending the OTP. We have triggered the OTP sending through the auth notifier. Ref.read auth provider.notifier.send verification code. It will take phone number and the context. This phone number will be the combination of the country code and the number that we have provided inside this text field. Last things on this screen will be the close icon. If we want to close this dialog box, then you can click here, or we have also created the one close icon here. After the column, I'll define the position widget. Position widget will be only used inside the stack widget. The on press of this icon button will be the navigator.pop, and icon will be icons.close. And I'll set the position right -20 and top also -20. Okay, if we set the minus on the position, then we need to also set the clip behavior. By default, clip behavior clip.none. By default, it will be the clip.hardEdge. If we set it, then icon will be clearly visible. Next, we'll dive into the OTP screen here. Inside the OTP screen, I'll call the sum field from the phone auth screen. I'll copy this all and paste it here. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it here, and again I'll make it the consumer stateful widget, and I'll set the state to the consumer state. If you are using the Riverpod for first time, then you need to set the provider scope on your main screen. I have already set it. Then let's import the phone auth service and the snack bar and return the scaffold. Here, first things on this screen, I'll set the background color will be the white, and inside the body, I'll use the safe area widget, and the child of this safe area will be column. And we have used the image that we have from the asset login, and we have the OTP image here. We have used this image in our OTP screen, and I have set the 10 height and the OTP verification text. Next, again we have the one text which is called we need to register your phone number by using a one-time OTP code verification. Okay, after this text we have required the one text field. Inside this text field we have passed the 6-digit OTP code. To pass the OTP, I have just called the text field. Inside the text field, here is the controller, and I'll set the OTP controller, and the max length of this text field will be the 6, and input format will be the digit only. And let's import the Flutter service dot and keyboard type will be the number. Inside the decoration, we have the label in text will be the enter OTP, and label text will be the OTP code. Last, we have the button show the loading indicator based on the auth state. Auth state dot is loading true, then we have display the circular progress indicator. If false, then we have only display the elevated button. The text of this button will be the verify OTP. Style, text style, I'll set font weight will be the bold, color white, and font size 16. After that, I'll add the simple style on this elevated button. Style elevated button dot style form, background color will be the green, and padding will be the 40 on horizontal and 15 will be the vertical. Inside the on press, we'll call the verify OTP function from the phone auth service. Ref.read, we have read the auth provider dot notifier dot verify OTP. OTP, we have get OTP from the OTP controller dot text dot trim, and context will be the builder context. That's it. Everything will be completed. I'll save it. I'll reset the app, and first I'll display you the my Firebase console. Here in user, currently we have just the 2 email provider is here. Let's try to use a phone number provider. I'll click the login with phone. It will open the dialog box. Inside this dialog, if I try to log in the phone number 1, it will automatically verified until you have provided the actual phone number. I have provided the actual phone number here, and if I send the OTP, then we have faced the error. Why? We need to two things to verify the actual OTP. You can see the OTP will be sent successfully. Why? I have used the test account here. In sign in method, I have added this phone number for testing purpose. You can see I have added this phone number and OTP for testing purpose. I'll pass the OTP 098765 and I'll verify. First it show the loading indicator, phone authentication success. It will navigate to the home screen and display the logout. I'll just log out from here and I'll just delete this testing phone number. I'll just remove it from here. I'll show you which error that we have faced, and I have just removed this phone number. That's why provider will be also removed. I'll again show you. This is not a matter. I'll restart the app and again log in with phone, and I'll provide the phone number and I'll send the OTP. You can see we have faced an error. Why? To achieve the phone number authentication in our device, first we need to add a billing account. If you want to try an actual phone number authentication, then we need to upgrade our project by using use and billing. You need to add your billing project first things, and second things is we can't test the phone number authentication in virtual device. You need to use your real device. With the latest update of Firebase, you must need to use your real device to try the phone authentication. Here you can see if you try to phone authentication on Android, it will display this error on the console which is called billing not enabled. If you want to achieve the real phone number authentication, then you need to add the billing account. For practice purpose, you can use the testing mode. Firebase provide a testing mode for developer and beginner. Okay, again I'll add this number here. Go to the sign in method. Inside this phone, for developer purpose and for learning purpose, Firebase provide the phone number for testing. I'll provide my phone number with the country code, and verification code will be the 123456, and I'll just add it. go to the user section, reload the Firebase console, reload the app, and last, let's try again. I have provided my valid phone number with my country code. If this is not your country code, then you can pick it from here. Okay, just send the OTP. First it verify you are robot or not. If you are using first time, OTP send in your phone number, and I'll provide my OTP that I have set for the testing purpose 123456, and I just verify it. This time we have successfully authenticated. Okay, by this way we can successfully use phone number authentication in our Flutter app. We have already completed email password authentication. This time we have completed the phone number authentication. Last part of our authentication will be the Google authentication. In Google authentication, I'm going to use a separate project. That's why I'm starting from the Firebase setup and show you how you can set up and how you can replace Google service file. And I'll also inform you I'm again using the stable version 6.3. I'm not using the 7.1 version. This version show the multiple error during Firebase setup. That's why I'm using the older version. I'm also suggest you to choose a older version instead of new 7.1 version. Create a Firebase project, give any name, and here is the Flutter section. Click on here. We have used the Flutter Fire CLI to set up our Flutter project with Firebase. Just copy the first command and hit on the terminal. It will check Firebase CLI is activate or not. Activate Flutter Fire CLI. Next, again copy this command and hit on the terminal. It will automatically set up the everything that we have required during Firebase setup. Okay, next from here, just hit the enter. Wait until it will create all the files that we have required. Okay, after the some time, Firebase setup is completed on each and every platform. First, we have required to add the Firebase core package. Just add the Firebase core package, and we are going to initialize the Firebase in our main file. Widget flutter binding that ensure initialize, and copy this 2 line from here and paste it before the run app, and add the Firebase core package, and again add the Firebase option file. It will set up Firebase that you have used on the current platform. After that, to set up on Firebase in iOS, we just need to change the iOS platform version just to make it 14. At least 13 is required. Firebase core requires the at least 13 version of iOS. Okay, after that, our Firebase setup is completed. Go to the build section. Here is the authentication section. Just get started here, and we have required a Google authentication. We have also enabled the email password authentication and the main things, that is Google authentication. The instruction important: to enable Google sign-in for your Android app, you must provide the SHA-1 release fingerprint. Just go to the project overview, project setting. Here is the place to add a SHA key. If you hover it, for information about adding the SHA key, just click on here. It will give the command to generate the SHA key for your project. Use this command for Mac and Linux, and use this key for Windows. Just copy this command from here and hit on the terminal. Just hit it. It asks the password and give the password called Android, and SHA-1 is generated. Just copy this from here and just add the fingerprint. It will automatically detect it. At the same time, we have also added the SHA-256 key. Add and paste it. Okay, that's it. Again, go to the authentication section, sign in method, add new provider, Google sign in. Just enable the Google sign in, give the support email for your project, and just save it. And again, read the instruction. Download the latest configuration file. Download and replace the configuration file in your app so that you can use Google sign in for your app. Just download this too and replace with your previous Google service. Down it from here. For iOS, open the iOS in Xcode. This is the Google service info file that we need to replace with the new. Just delete this file, move to trash, and click on runner, add file to runner, and select the file that you have just downloaded. We also need to replace the Google service.json file. Just copy it, go to the project section, Android app, and paste it here and replace with new file. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's the process to enable the Google sign-in and Firebase setup. All is completed. First we try to run our project if everything is perfect or not, and next we'll start to code. iOS project is run without any error. Okay, first we have required the two packages for Google sign-in, which is Firebase Auth, and second is Google sign-in. Add this package, Firebase Auth and Google sign-in. Perfect. If we visit the Google sign-in in pub.dev, we can't find anything for setup. It didn't mention anything to need to add, but with the latest update of Firebase, we need to add some file on info.filis for the iOS app. Just go to the info.filis and just add this. First we have required the client ID, second we have required the CF bundle UR type, and third is reverse client ID. From where you can get the client ID and reverse client ID, go to the Google service info.filis. Here is the client ID, just copy from here and just paste it. For the reverse client ID, again go there and just copy this from here, paste it in the reverse client ID section. I'll provide this in the video description. You can find this all in the video description. If you didn't add this in the setup, then if you click on the Google continue with Google, then your app is crash. If you didn't face this error, then it will be awesome. If you face, then you can add. I have faced this type of error multiple times. That's why I'll add this file every time. In the lib, I'll create the one folder which is called auth. Inside the auth, I'll create again the two folder which is called screen and service. Inside the screen, we have code for the Google login screen. Inside the service, we have code for the Google Auth service. We have start for the code. First create the class. Here is the code. I will explain it as and every steps. First create the class and give the any name that you have once, and next things that is you need to create the instance of Firebase Auth and Google sign-in. To creating instance, it is necessary to prompt the user. Firebase Auth instance provide the access to the Firebase Auth method like sign in, sign out, and user management. After you have created these two instance, next is the method. Create the method to sign in using the Google. This method handle the Google sign-in and link with the Firebase authentication. Make it asynchronous because both the Google sign-in and Firebase Auth operation involve network request. First the try catch. It will help to find out the error, and inside this try catch, the first steps that you have required is initiate the Google sign-in process by calling sign-in on the Google sign-in instance. Google sign-in is nullable because the user may cancel the sign-in process. Next steps is check if the user cancel the sign-in process. Return false to indicate that the sign-in was not completed. Otherwise, continue the process. To get the token, to obtain authentication token, access token and ID token from the selected Google sign-in. The access token is used to accessing the Google API, and ID token verify the user ID. Next, sign in into Firebase using the Google credential. Sign in with credential. Send the Google credential to Firebase, which verify it and create or sign in with the Firebase user. Return true, indicate the success sign in. If the exception is catch any Firebase specific authentication error such as invalid credential or network issue, and print the error for debugging purpose, and return false to indicate the sign-in is failed. Next, this is the method to sign out. Sign out the user from Firebase and Google sign-in. This is also asynchronous because sign-in operation involve network or system level call. This process takes some time. Sign out from Firebase Auth. Auth.signout remove the Firebase user session, effectively locking the user out of Firebase. And sign out from Google sign-in. Clear the Google sign-in session, so the user will need to select an account again on the next time during sign-in. This steps is necessary to fulfill, disconnect the Google account and prevent automatic re-authentication. After this authentication process, next steps is we have designed the simple screen and call this authentication screen. Here, first you need to create the Google sign-in instance with email scope. The email scope allow the app to access the user email address during the Google sign-in. sign in. Inside the init state, override the init state to set up initialization logic when widget is created. Listen to change in the current Google user over the on-current user change stream. This is useful for update the UI if the user authentication state change. If the widget is still mounted, to avoid the calling set state on the dispose widget, and call the set state to refresh the UI when the Google user change. At this scaffold, I'll give the simple background color. Inside the column, I'll just remove this size box, and in the column, I'll make main axis alignment dot center. And inside the gesture detector, I have defined the action to perform when the user tap the button. Call the sign in with Google method for Firebase service to initiate Google sign in. This method from the previous code handle Google sign in and Firebase authentication. If result is success, then navigate to the next screen. Otherwise, we can send the snack bar. Scaffold messenger dot of context dot show snack bar. If result is success, then we will navigate to the next screen. Otherwise, we have show the snack bar, Google sign in, fail or cancel. Okay, I'll create the home screen and give the name called home screen. In the home screen, we have display the image of the current login user, name and its email ID. Okay, that's it. In the main screen, we have called the Google login screen. Name called Google login screen. Just Google login screen. Just save it, and in the Google login screen, we have passed the logo. Copy image address and just paste it here. Okay, good. I'll make background color to blue. Everything will be perfect. In the main dot debug show check modal banner false, and I'll terminate the app and run it again and I'll check everything is perfect or not. I have add package and add something on info.plist. That's why we need to terminate the app and relaunch the app. You can see we have faced this error. Why? I'll forget to close the one tag inside the info.plist. I'll forget to close this array tags. That's why we have faced this error. Didn't worry, I'll provide this all in the video description, and I'll run the app. App is run successfully. Let's check it will work or not. If you click on the continue with Google, it asks the permission. If you want to continue, let's continue from here. If you cancel the login process, it will show the Google sign in cancel or fail. If you continue, okay, it will continue from here and Google sign in process is completed. And I'll forget to navigate to the home screen. That's why it will not navigate to the home screen. Let's navigate to the home screen. If login is success, continue with Google, continue, select the account, continue from here, and it will navigate to the home screen. Okay, it will display the image of this email, name and the email address. We have successfully achieved the Google sign-in feature in our iOS app. Let's try the same process in the Android. I'll terminate the iOS simulator and open the Android emulator. Here you can see we have faced the two error. The first is it will suggest to upgrade our Android NDK version. Firebase Auth and Firebase Core require at least 27.0.12 Android NDK version. Just go to the Android app level build.gradle. Just update the NDK version here. And next, that is we need to again update at least 23 for mean SDK version. Mean SDK version, make it. I'll show you each and every error that I have faced during Google login. After these two error, I'm sure that this time our app is run successfully. You can see we have successfully run our project on the Android. Let's see it will work or not. Continue with Google. You can see I have used the same account. That's why when I click on continue with Google, it will directly navigate to the success screen. If you use the different account, then it will again ask the some permission. I have used the same account. That's why it didn't ask me any permission. Okay, by this way, we can successfully achieve the Google sign in both the Android and iOS. Okay, bye bye. We'll meet you on the next video.